I made $5,884 today, and I'm going to show you the exact trade I took. I'm going to show you my strategy, and I'm going to explain how you can learn the strategy and start making money for yourself. So let's get into it. First things first, what was the trade I took? Today's trade was a break and retest to the downside. So if you guys have been watching me for really like any amount of time, you know that this is my go-to setup. This is one of my favorite setups, and I love when it plays out this perfectly. So let's do a little recap. First things first, what was I looking for? All I was looking for when the market opened up was a break either to the upside or to the downside. I will admit, I told everybody in the Discord and I told all my mentorship students today, I was a little bit more focused on looking for a break and retest to the downside, and I'll explain why. When we're trading near all-time highs like we are right now, we don't have any levels to the upside. What do I mean by this? Right now, this is literally the highest that ES has ever been. This is all-time highs. We're making all-time highs. So that means that we have no levels to use as targets. We have no levels to look at for potential reversals. It just means we don't have much data to make decisions off of when taking longs. So does that mean I'm not going to take longs? No, it just means that sometimes I might be more focused on shorts because I have a very clear risk to reward. I have clear targets, and it's just honestly a less risky trade. So that's what I did this morning. I said that I was more focused on a break and retest to the downside. So once we got this break, I was very excited. I didn't enter right there. I wanted to wait for a little bit more confirmation. You guys will see me either enter right here, which I do when price has a cleaner break and it's not as choppy. So if price was just kind of staying in this range and had a really clean break, I may have entered right there. But today I decided to wait for a little bit more confirmation. So what I do is I have this midpoint, and I'll teach you guys a little trick on how to get this to show up on your chart. All you got to do is double click that rectangle, click this middle line, and then just make sure you have it checked. Then you are good to go. And I use this as kind of a visual tool to, one, get good entries, and two, just to make sure that my risk reward is there. So you guys can see today, I waited to see what price was going to do once we hit that midpoint. The second I saw price starting to reject, I entered some shorts right there. I had my stop loss just above the zone. That's another trick for you guys. When placing your stops with the break and retest, I always recommend you leave a little bit of wiggle room, because sometimes price will come up and sweep these highs. Like yesterday, if you didn't leave a little bit of wiggle room, you could have gotten stopped out. Like my first trade yesterday, I got stopped out. You guys can watch yesterday's trade recap and see what I did wrong. But long story short, I highly recommend placing your stop loss at least 1 or 2 ticks above or below the New York Open to allow a little bit of wiggle room. So that was my entry. That was my stop loss, and my target was very clear. I was targeting this London low right there. Got out for a clean 10 points, and I could have made more money on this trade, but I never play the could have game. I never play the could have game because the could have game isn't what matters. The only thing that matters is that you are making money consistently, and what you did matters, not what you could have done, right? Like we all could have done stuff. You could have bought Bitcoin when you were 10 years old and you could have been a billionaire, but you didn't, right? So like we don't have time to play the could have game. And as traders, the could have game can destroy us because it doesn't exist. So that was today's trade. Very, very nice trade. We also saw a second break and retest play out to the upside, which some people in my community caught. I didn't take this trade though, guys. What I like to do is I like to have a very clear time that I'm trading. For me, that's 9 to 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So after 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I might still be in a trade, but I will not be entering any trades after 11:30. And I talk about why I do this, but just to give you guys a quick recap on why I recommend everybody has trading hours, 2 main things. One, and the most important thing, is decision fatigue. If you're trading for longer than 3 hours a day, unless you are just like an absolute market wizard, you are going to be pretty damn tired. So your decision-making capabilities on hour 1, pretty good. Hour 2, good. Hour 3, not so good. Hour 4, bad. Hour 5, awful. So the more time you spend behind these charts, sometimes the worse you will get. So that's why trading's so interesting, guys, because it's not like a job. With a job, if I work 10 hours, my boss is paying me for that 10 hours. With trading, I could work 24 hours and make $0. Or like this morning, I was in that trade for 5 minutes, and I made $5,884. So that just shows you that I am not getting paid by how long I spend working. I'm getting paid by the decisions I make. The second reason we have very specific trading hours is because it allows us to find consistency in our trading, which is what actually earns us money. Every single day, You guys can watch all of my YouTube videos starting from literally like the first day that I created this account. Pretty much all my trades, there might be one or two, pretty much all of my trades happen in the exact same hours because I am looking for either a break and retest, I'm looking for a bounce, or I'm looking for a rejection. And I notice that this pattern tends to repeat itself around 9:30. That's when the stock market volume comes in. That's when I notice that this happens. That's when I make the most money. So why on earth would I not trade during the time that I know my setup is likely to play out? Why would I try to trade at 3 a.m. or 4 p.m.? Like, that just doesn't make any sense. So I encourage you guys to have very, very clear trading hours and very clear trading rules. The other thing I encourage you guys to do is have a very clear risk to reward. If I don't see a 1 to 3 risk to reward, I'm not taking the trade. So for example, if I didn't think that the price was going to be able to come down and sweep this low, I would not have taken that break and retest. I wouldn't have. It would not have been a good trade. But I had my target in mind. I said, okay, I think the price can come sweep this low. That means that I can get 10 points. I can have a stop loss right here, and I can get a nice 1 to 3 risk to reward trade. And that's exactly what I did. So I encourage you guys to keep your risk to reward constant. And I also encourage you guys, obviously I'm not going to be the one to tell you to come change things with your strategy, but if you want to use my strategy, I recommend targeting a risk to reward of 1 to 3. That's worked for me. That works for everybody that I mentor. And that is just what I've seen be the best result, the best possible risk to reward to target, guys. And remember, when you're targeting a risk to reward of 1 to 3, I don't know the exact math off the top of my head, but your win rate can be extremely low. I am pretty sure that you can still have like a 40, actually not pretty sure. I know that you can have a 50% win rate with a 1 to 3 risk to reward and still make money. So you can literally lose half of the trades you take and still make money if you're targeting a good risk to reward, because your wins are going to be so big. Like everything, think about it like this. If every time you win, it's $3,000, $5,000, or even like $300, $500, $800, and every time you lose, it's just $100, $100, $100, $100. Your wins are going to be so big. So at the end of the year, your wins will be 50 grand and your losses will be 13 grand. So minus your losses from your wins, you're profitable. You know what I'm saying? So like the math behind becoming a profitable trader actually isn't that complex. And when I put it like that, it seems a lot more achievable to you guys, and it should, because it is. But in order to become profitable, you have to become obsessed with what I'm talking about right now. Risk to reward, win rate, setups. You can't just focus on the money. One of my mentorship students asked me a great question. So he got his first payout today. He got a payout of around $2,000. And he said, hey, RP, I just got a payout. I'm loving the program. But now that I'm trading with real money, what are some recommendations that you would give me to not be emotional? And I go, dude, that is a great question, because most people, when they start making money, they send me a picture of them at like, the club, or them doing something fun. And I'm all for that. But this guy was just so focused on how to, not let emotions take over. And what I told him was something that I'm going to tell all of you guys. Once you start making money, you are going to get met by this demon, or this bad little guy. And his name is overconfidence. His name is greed. When I first started making money trading, I thought that I was so cool. I thought that I was so good because I was judging myself by the money. I was like, oh, I made $1,000 today. I'm on top of the world. I didn't even care that the trade was a complete gamble. So I told him, I said, celebrate the trades you take. Celebrate the setups, right? I don't care if I see you out there popping champagne or out there partying, but you should be celebrating the fact that you found a great setup, not the fact that you made $1,000. Because when you celebrate the fact that you're finding great setups, your brain is going to have the perfect reward mechanism. It's going to say, okay, when I find a great setup, that's a good thing. And when your brain thinks like that, congratulations, you are very close to making a lot of money if you're not already. So real quick, I'm going to show you guys some other people who took this setup, because I just want to reinforce that this strategy doesn't just work for me. It works for people, like everybody who uses it. Like obviously there's some people who are using it right now and it's probably not working for them because they're new to it, but the strategy works, right? Not just for me, for other people. So my man Mario made $1,300 and passed two 50K funded accounts on Top Step. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you, man. If you're watching this, which I know you probably are, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I really do. But give yourself a pat on the back, bro. That's a beautiful trade. Took that same exact break and retest that I took. Josh did as well. AJ also took that same break and retest. You guys can see he literally had the exact same entry as me. He got out a little bit early, but that's okay. Chris made about $500 off of that break and retest. ZJR also took the break and retest. Mind you, these guys are in my mentorship program, so every single day I'm reviewing their trades. I'm talking to them. I'm just making sure that they are doing the right things. That's my whole job with these people, is just to hold their hands and just make sure they're accountable, review their trades, and make sure they're getting better every single day. And it appears that they're doing so. Absolutely. That's a beautiful trade. 800 bucks off of that for Moku. Killa Kitty passed the funded account off of the break and retest, which is awesome. Really cool to see. Tony absolutely crushed it. Boom, $1,100 or $1,111. Kind of a tongue twister. This guy took some shorts. My man Michael, one of my mentorship students, made $420 today. I love seeing this. I was talking with Michael today about executions, and seems like he's getting a lot better. So shout out Michael. Oh, I'd love to hear this. Lost $200 on the first one, stuck to his stop loss, but made $500 on the next move, and he stuck this one out. That's what I love to see, guys. It's just about these little improvements. It's not always somebody's making 50 grand a day. This guy made 300 bucks, but I'm just happy that he's getting better. Benny took that break and retest to the downside. Damn, pretty much like all of my mentorship students took this damn trade. I love seeing this. Made about, or just under $1,000. Yep, jeez. Yeah, everybody took this trade. This is actually my first time going through the profit chat today. I didn't realize that like literally everybody took it. That is awesome. Charles took that as well, break and retest to the downside. Ashley, second funded, passed off the break and retest. Boom, that's what we do. Shout out to the coaches. She's just referring to the coaches. In the mentorship program, there's 3 coaches. It's me, and then Andre and Adam, and their whole job is just to help people pass funded accounts, and that's what they're doing. That is literally what they're doing. Kiki, boom, made some money off of that exact same trade. Yeah, all of my mentorship students took the break and retest. Like that is really cool to say. And it's cool to say because this strategy works, not just for me. I mean, like a few years ago, I was just sitting in my college dorm trading this by myself, and now people are, thanking me for this. So it's really cool to see. TJ caught that break and retest too. Boom. C-Dot got some longs on NQ. That is awesome to see. Caught an L, but then he got 456, or then he made $456. Love to see that, guys. And we share the L's and we share the wins. It's not always just, big wins. Caught a loss, but then he had a bigger win. That's what matters. If you guys do want to work with me one-on-one the whole reason you work with me one-on-one is if you want to become a profitable trader and get a payout and start making $10,000 to $20,000 a month in the next 90 days. If you want to do that, click the link below this. Let's hop on a call. Let's see if you're a good fit, and let's make some money. If not, all good. I appreciate all of you for watching this video, and I'll talk to you all soon. Peace out.